Yeah, just
Come on.
everything's good?
Yeah, everything's great. Everything's great. You're the first person to bring a pillow here. What's his name? Jeremy Mason. He brought a sign because he was running for, I want to say, Norfolk City Council at the time. So he brought like his sign.
Yeah.
People don't really bring props though.
I see you got a lot of props, so I was like, let me bring my own too.
Couple little props. Things keep getting added over the years. Like I just told you, our newest addition is the gin bottle that Crazo and Izzy were drinking.
Yep.
So that's there.
Did he sign it too?
He didn't sign it. I should have got him to sign it. That's crazy. I might have to get him to sign that. I got a little baby bottle of Don that Breeze Barker gave me.
Nice.
My baby Don. I didn't even know they made him like that. I thought it was kind of cute.
Yeah, I just got the Virginia Beach ball.
Yeah.
It's arrived tomorrow.
Did Pharrell? Is that part of Pharrell's drop?
Yeah.
He got a shirt. Did you get anything else from him? Yeah. How do you feel about that Virginia merch that Pharrell just dropped? It's cool, but I feel like to me, it's just like some shit you'll see like at the gift shop out there.
Yes.
He just really upgraded the gift shop merch for Virginia Beach.
$50 for the T-shirt. You know what I mean? That's like double the price at the oceanfront. But at the same time, it's still him putting on for Virginia. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like the hat. The dad hat, I got that, you know, because it just says Virginia. It's simple. But, yeah, he kind of went overboard with the price, I feel like.
Is it at least good quality? Because I didn't even really, like, is your shirt, is it like high quality shit? Let me see that. Let me see that dad hat, too. I don't think I saw the dad hat.
Yeah,
are you a dad?
Hasn't come in yet. I am a dad.
Yeah? How many kids do you have?
2, a boy and a girl.
Yeah? All right, man.
Yes, sir.
Well, the website looks cool. I like that.
Yeah, he had the artist do that. Virginia Beach artist.
Who did that? Do you know who the artists were?
I forget his name, man.
Like, this really some just like, I mean, I guess it's fitting for Virginia Beach because it's like some real like beach type
tourism
stuff.
Yep.
That one right there, the black one?
Yeah, I got that one, yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's about average price for a hat, $38.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was cool with that. I got the orange T-shirt, too.
Okay.
Because I want to get the shoes, man. I'm a big sneakerhead, so
yeah,
we'll see.
So, I kind of want to get into your story a little bit, bro, because I just got hip to you maybe last year-ish, not too long ago.
Yeah.
You kind of, I don't know, so like how long have you been on the scene? Like what is your history as far as the creative space in Virginia? Like when did you get started out here?
Yeah, so I moved here in 2016. So I'm still new, you would say, to the area. I moved from D.C. So I've been up and down the East Coast, man, all over. Born in Buffalo, New York. Lived in Philly, Atlanta, and then D.C. Maryland, but outside of D.C. That's where I spent most of my life, but I've been all over, you know. And when I came down here, when I was in Maryland, I was an artist, my own music. I did my own music for many years, rapper, you know, always trying to do music. And so I have that as part of my experience. But when I got here, I was still kind of dabbling in the music, but not so much. But I met T-Rific. I went to his studio through another artist I knew, met him first, and just started seeing the scene out here. That was 2016, 2017. And then soon after that, I was doing a lot of shows in D.C. as well. I said, man, there's something here I can bring value to, you know, like just seeing where the scene was at that time. I realized Norfolk at that time didn't have a lot of events going on. I didn't know the history at that time. I was like, why don't they have DJs doing things or shows out here? I would talk to venues and be like, no, we can't do it. I'm like, what's going on? So I found out later what that was about.
What was that about?
I guess something happened. One of the venues maybe was shooting or something happened, and then they just shut down. They didn't do any more, especially hip hop, those type of, you know, things that I was into. They just stopped doing them. And I don't know if that was just before I got here. I don't know the full details. I just know that that's something that happened.
That not to cut the story off, but that is something that was happening over the years. A lot of venues would get shut down, like work really slow dive. It's like these venues would start building up credibility and building up their vibe, and then like a year or two will go by and they'll just get shut down by the city, and they'll kind of just stop it in its tracks, like whatever growth was happening there.
Yeah.
So that is like a thing out here.
Got you. Yeah, I wasn't really sure, but yeah, I mean, that was the first thing. And then I just started, you know, doing my research and finding the artists that are out here. So for me, it was like, the way I put it, it's almost like, you know how in sports you got the coach guy, the guy that he once played, now he coaches. That's kind of where I'm at now. You know, I don't really do the music as much, but I want to help artists. And that was really where it started. I was like, man, I could see some of these artists. I knew people in DC. I've been different places. Let me just try to help them out. And it started with management. I managed one artist. Management wasn't really my thing at that time, so I stopped doing that. But I had all these resources. I'm like, man, I can get them in studios. I can do videos. I knew the videographer. So I just started putting the pieces together. And then it wasn't until 2023 when I started my business, Antidote Agency. And the reason I started it was to get artist opportunities, resources. Live shows are a big piece, obviously, of that. But resources was really just the basic thing. I want to provide resources to artists. That could be a lot of things. But just working the relationships and connections I had and just providing that to them. And certain artists that I see, when I see the talent, it's like, man, I want to help them get to the next level. And so the other way I kind of say it or call it, it's like there was a not even a runway. There was a space station here, you know what I'm saying, with the artists that would just take off and go years ago.
Which one?
Well, I mean, like, for example, Pharrell, just for example, space went straight up to the sky. That's just an analogy. And so what I'm trying to do is rebuild that station, right? It's not really it's a figure of speech I'm saying here.
No, I get it. I'm saying, what was that space station that helped these artists blow up? Are you talking about a certain brand?
I think it was, those bigger artists that were here, that are from here years ago. They had built something. I think when Teddy Riley came in town, that was the beginning, and then Pharrell was a part of that, and Timberland, a lot of people were a part of that. Different era, different time, whole different scene. But I'm just saying that was a foundation here, and artists took off from here. So I feel like there's incredible talent here. We just need to rebuild that station again that can lift artists off.
I think that was a different era in that time, like when Teddy Riley first came out here and he helped Pharrell and them get on. Mm-hmm. I think you needed somebody that was in the game at that time to put you on.
For sure.
Like, it was really hard to do it as an unknown person, like pretty much impossible. Mm-hmm. These days, I'm a firm believer that nobody can really put you on.
Yeah.
Like, you have to go through your own evolution. You have to go through your growth, find who you are, like figure out your thing, sharpen your sword. Mm-hmm. And I think it's your responsibility to do it yourself. Yeah. So I think I've been having a change of perspective lately as far as just how to get on. I think I'm going from somebody put me on to somebody help me nurture what I already have and get myself to the point where I'm ready.
For sure. And that's what I'm getting at. I'm not saying you need a well-known artist that puts their arm around you and gets you where you want to be. I'm just speaking on that's what it was at that time. We have internet, we have AI, we have a lot of tools here. It's just that they need some foundation that wasn't really here. The structure, right, of you talk about in previous shows I've heard, doing press runs here. That's a thing now. They have the ability to do that. That's part of the foundation of what we're trying to build as well. We just provide the live shows and other things to that, but that's just another piece. It lets people see these artists, see them for their talent, see how incredible they are. And then from there, we just continue to build up from that. I'm not saying we have all the answers. I'm just saying that's a piece of what we're trying to do.
I think we're all a piece of it, right?
Exactly.
So I think a lot of people overlook their local scenes as a tool for their own development, mm-hmm. right? So I've talked about it with Raisa, with a few people. A lot of people want to get paid to do every show, or especially they want to come right in the game and start making a bunch of money.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think I look at it as just a developmental thing. So I look at our local scene as a playground. It's practice. Sure. You take advantage of everything in the scene, from the open mics to the showcases to the studios. Mm-hmm. You can really run around and do all these things and just develop your craft.
For sure.
So when you get on that world stage, or when you leave the area, you kind of have your foundation, like you're saying. I think every scene's dynamics works the same. So if you go to New York, or you go to LA, or you're on a mainstream level, all these dynamics for the scene, they work the same as a local scene. Yeah. It's just the players are bigger. True. The stakes are higher, and the players are they have more notoriety. Mm-hmm. There's more eyes on you. But it kind of everything works the same. So once you figure out your thing in a local scene, mm-hmm. it's not as hard to adapt that to a bigger scene.
Yeah, for sure. And I've seen different waves happen. Like I said, Buffalo, for example, that's where I was born. Griselda came through there. That was a wave. I did some video, I did a video for one of Conway's artists when I was in Buffalo a couple years ago. And just seeing a lot of the artists around, and there's a wave definitely there. Philly, when I was there, huge wave of artists at that point. I was like middle school, elementary school, but seeing those artists, we're talking about State Property, all those guys. Here there was one, obviously before, I think there's one here now, bubbling, And but my experience with those waves, it was always somebody broke through, another one broke through, and then everybody saw what was going on. Really, again, all we're trying to do is get them on those stages so people can see them. And then there's footage, there's internet, and all the things we can do with that, social media. But again, that's what I'm just focusing on, like that niche of this scene is doing the shows. And then getting, artists paid for what they do as well, because it costs money to be an artist. You got to pay for studio time, production, all of the above. And so I know that from being an artist. And so my goal is to get that money in their pocket as well.
We've had a bunch of these bubbling moments in the 757 for the last, I would say 10, 15 years, right?
Yeah.
You look at the era where kind of crazy started popping, to now.
Yep.
We've had a few artists blow this year, or last year from Virginia, Tommy Richmond, Shabuzi, Young Chris.
Mm-hmm.
But before them, I will say it seems like it's like a ceiling. I don't know why. A lot of people call it the VA curse, but there is this thing where an artist from the 757 will get very big. He's known in the 757, and he might even be moving around a little bit out of the area.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like something is stopping them from going to that next level. I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's the thing is you can have a foundation in the area, like you said, the local scene. There's a lot of things there. I mean, what I've witnessed in different places, I even seen Wale take off in D.C. I used to work with him at the mall back in the day. But anyway.
At just a random store in the mall?
Yeah.
What store?
It was called Up Against the Wall. It was like a urban fashion, summer 2004, right before he blew up. But
that's hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah. But those scenes I've saw that happened, there was always somebody involved, somebody that had an avenue. And I think that's something that we may not have here. There's not really an avenue to say, hey, once you do this, this, and this, I'm going to help you get here. And I'm not saying it's got to be somebody to help you. It's just that you need that next level. You need to get to the next level. It doesn't happen by just blowing up on the local scene. That's why we see artists go out of town and come back, and then they're recognized more in the area. It's almost like you get validation if you go to New York or LA or wherever and come back. Then it's like, oh, now I want to recognize you. So there's something about that here. But I don't know. It's tough to really solve that specific. But I think it is going to be just more pushing the right artists, right? Because there's some artists that they just may not have it yet. And so helping them develop, getting to the point where they need to be. But I think there is a strong wave of artists here that we just got to get behind. And if we all get behind them and support them, and we always talk about this, I know this is something everybody always brings up, but I'm really saying that specifically for the point of when you get behind the artists and you just not just support them by going to their show, but support them in all different ways, then the sky's the limit, And then we can break artists from here. But it does have to, you got to get attention. You got to get the attention. It can't just be everybody here getting the attention or everybody from here sees and knows them. How can you, do a tour if you don't get out of the area? You know what I mean? So it's just, there's different levels to it, in my opinion.
I think in 2025, we're really going back to grassroots movements.
Yeah.
That's what's working.
For sure.
We still have the internet as a tool, but it's just so much stuff on the internet. You're constantly competing with the algorithm. I don't know if you've seen the thing that Lizzo said about the industry recently, where pretty much even industry artists don't have a leg up anymore. In industry, the industry used to have a monopoly on who you discover.
Yeah.
And that's how they kind of that's how they cornered the market for up until social media started taking off.
Mm-hmm.
Even they don't have that anymore. Even as an industry, even if you're signed to a major,
true,
the label can push you in our face and put all this money behind this marketing. But if you're not fire, we'll just scroll past it.
Yeah.
Independent artists finally, for the first time in history, from what I see, have the ability to compete with majors, because we all have the internet. We're all using the same playing field right now.
Yeah.
And so I think what sets you apart in 2025 is stuff off the internet.
Yeah.
Really doing grassroots shit, pulling up on people, traveling, putting boots on the ground, going and touching, tap in with these different areas.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. also going back to what you said earlier, you used to make music. I used to make music as well. How do you, since you used to make music, do you think that helps you connect with artists on like a different way these days in your business than like somebody else who might be a CEO but has never kind of tried to do that themselves?
100%. Yeah. I mean, my mindset is an artist mindset. So when it's like curating a show, for example, like I know how that goes. I know who's going to go first, second, third, all the way to the headliner. And I do that specifically all the way down to how we treat the artists. Like I said, payment, like recently we did the Soundwave Festival. That was ours that we created. And a lot of the artists were just talking afterwards, like, we've never been treated this way. Like, we bring food, in the green room, it's got your favorite drink in there. We got cupcakes with our logo on it. Like, I try to make the experience the best for them so they can see what the music business looks like when they do get to those rooms eventually, And so, yeah, my mindset is always, how can we help the artists and cater to them? Even the Live from the Couch web series we do, it's how do we get the artists to showcase their talent? Not just sing along to your song with the mic upside down, like do something different and showcase the live vocals. And so, yeah, it's always about how do we showcase them the best way and how do we treat them the right way? You know what I mean? And again, it's not an entitlement thing where it's like, this artist has done this and this and this, so we're going to treat them. It's everybody, whoever we work with. You get that treatment because I know how it was, And again, the money aspect is big because I remember just spending money. Like, I'm spending money so much on my, and they always say you got to invest in your own craft, right? Which is true. But when it gets to the point where you're just spending that money and you don't make that money back, there's only so far you can go. And for me, I had to just stop. I had my young daughter at the time, living near D.C., everything's getting more costly. Was working a good job, but it was like, I can't just keep spending money if it's not paying off, And so I have that whole experience to back up when I do work with the artists. And I think that's the reason they enjoy working with us, to be honest with you.
Just bring cupcakes in the green room. I know, because I know you bring like bigger artists out in the city. I feel like you and G-Man do that. I think we have a pod coming up with G-Man too.
Nice.
You brought Waka Flocka to Virginia Beach. Like, even when you're bringing these bigger artists, are you still keeping local artists in mind? Like, how can I get them on? How can I get them paid? And are you thinking about it like using the bigger acts that may be known to just the general public out here? Are you using them as leverage to get them out and then introduce them to local acts as well?
1,000%, man. Yeah, I mean, Vibe Check, the one you're talking about, that was the city of Virginia Beach reaching out to us, and we're the only local promoter they reached out to, and we're very grateful for that opportunity because we had to build a relationship with them, and they trust us, right? So when that came up, it was filling the void of the other big festival in the area, Something in the Water, So we're very grateful for the opportunity. And and so the goal was, when they came to us, it was, who can you bring out? Here's a budget, what have you. And when I looked at the budget, I'm like, I can bring maybe one national artist with that, or we can really curate a strong lineup of artists that are from the area. And that's always going to be the case with us because we want to showcase the local talent.
But the local talent is not bringing out the people.
Well, not
They're bringing out their people.
Not always, yes.
But like,
For sure.
I think it's a huge disconnect between the local scene and the general population.
100%.
They either don't know about us. Well, I'm not going to say they don't care. They just don't know about us.
Yeah.
Because if they do get to know us and start actually tapping in, they usually become fans. Mm-hmm. But like, I don't know, there's a disconnect there though.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, but that was the thing is we bring Waka, Bryce Vine, we bring two, headliners from across. Everybody at least knows Waka.
So the city gave you the budget to get Waka?
Well, yeah. I mean, not necessarily. The city had already squared that away, meaning they had the funding for that. They already had that. They wanted us to come in to bring additional things to it. And so that's when we said we're going to bring local artists only. And that became the grassroots approach because it got the local area to hear about it. The people that knew those artists that we brought, whether it was Shan, whether it was Shaolin, whether it was Cam Parker, and even, Young Crazy and Pretty Savage, those artists, people know them here, But to me, it was a proud moment. That was probably the most proudest moment so far, is because we had the beach packed. We had everybody out to see, whether they were there to see Waka or whoever, those artists that we brought out on the stage got to witness a big crowd. And in the sand on the beach. Like, that's never been done that I know of.
No, that shit was fire.
Yeah.
I was there. I appreciate you for showing me and my girl love. Like, you had us backstage and shit.
Yeah.
That was my first time seeing Waka live, and I've been listening to him since like back in the day.
Yeah.
That whole shit was just crazy.
Yeah, and then my favorite part also was you had Cam Parker from Suffolk, and then you had what's the name, the producer for Waka that's from out here. Lex Luger, exactly.
Yeah, Lex Luger.
So I got to bring Cam backstage and be like, yo, here's Lex Luger. Like I said, yo, Lex, can I introduce you to somebody? Young artist from your area. Yeah, no problem. He's real cool. I'm like, yo, hold on. Got Cam, because we had to clear the space. I don't know if you were there for that. We had to clear the space because when the headliner comes out, it's like all these people, clear it out. We can't have everybody backstage.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was one of the people that got cleared out. That's cool.
I felt bad. Everybody's but everybody was cool about it because they knew what it was, which I love about that, because we really try to keep things really clean. But I was able to go get Cam from the crowd, sneak him back in, kind of sneak him, but I just brought him with me. And then I'm like, yo, Lex, this is the guy I want you to meet. And they got a photo together. Like, those moments mean more to me than the rest of everything else. And even seeing some of the headliners, sub-headliners communicate, like Young Crazy getting to meet Waka. I'm not sure if they met before that. So just those type of things, bringing those scenes together is, just to answer your question, is very, very important for me. And for what we do. And we want to bring more artists out like G-Man, these other people in the area. And we're working on that, bringing artists, and then have the locals, local emerging artists open up for them as well.
Bro, I'm signed up to G-Man's like mailing list. I feel like I'm always getting some email like he's bringing some big act out.
For sure. Yeah.
I think we do need that. I think we have a market. What I say is, like, I feel like our market here is not that accustomed to experiencing live entertainment. If you go to like Austin, Texas, and you go to like 6th Street, it's all live entertainment. Yeah. Live bands, comedy. Like, out here, the culture is more just like either going to the club, dancing, getting drunk, or just like going to a bar. Like, I think people out here want that stuff, but we haven't really like, I think, incorporated that into like our culture, like in the right way yet. Or like enough to where people get used to it, and like that's what they want to go out and do. Like, instead of just going to the bar and getting drunk, like, let me go see a live band or something. Yeah,
no, I think you're right. I mean, again, DC was big on that. That's a big part of the culture there. And also you realize here, when you see tours get announced, I don't know if you look and see, is Virginia in there? Or this area.
A lot of times it's not.
They skip over, right? And I think the Dome hopefully could help with that. Now they have a venue and it's Live Nation owned. I think Mariah the Scientist, they just announced her for like early next year. We'll start seeing more of that because of that venue. But
you think it was a venue issue? Why they skipped over us a lot?
I think it's that plus the market, it's just not really known for it. And I don't know if you all can equate it to this, but I would say we don't have a professional sports team, right? And those are the markets they usually go to because they're bigger, they have more money. The bigger artist doesn't always stop here. Now, they're not saying they don't ever, but not often. You know what I'm saying? Because of the market and how the market is established. But again, we can change some of that, and I think that venue, the tough thing about the Dome, and I went there to do a tour and I wanted to book somebody. I had somebody really big. I'll tell you off air who it was. Huge artist. And they're like, nope, because if he's worked with Live Nation, you cannot book him. We keep all Live Nation artists. Anybody that's worked with us in-house. So they basically push any other promoter that's not Live Nation out.
So the artist you're talking about is not with Live Nation?
Not signed, but has worked with them. So anybody that's worked with them, you can't book them there.
They'll book
a
them
themselves.
Promoter.
They'll book them, or they just say,
I did hear that about the Dome. Like, they only do Live Nation stuff.
Yeah. Well,
so Live Nation probably they probably own a piece of that.
They do.
Yeah.
They own it. The only thing you could do is you could bring in an independent artist maybe, but to get a 3,000 to 5,000 capacity venue to fill up, you can't really do that with independent artists, unless it's really a well-known independent artist. And anybody that's well-known probably has already worked with Live Nation.
Well, could that not stunt the growth, but like, is that a bad move for the Dome to do that? To only accept Live Nation people?
I would say yes, in my opinion. But they're not looking at it from the standpoint that we are. They're looking at it from a business standpoint, right? To make money, to bring in the crowd they want to bring in. And they want to I don't want to use the word monopoly, but that's sort of what they've been doing, right? They own the venue, they own the ticket sale, they own the artist. They just run it through and it's them. You know what I mean? And
But isn't there a bunch of big artists that aren't attached to Live Nation? Look up biggest top 10 biggest music artists that aren't signed to Live Nation.
yeah, I looked it up, and you know,
Because I feel like there's probably not everybody signed Live Nation.
what's the guy? James, what's his name? Blake? Is it James Blake?
That a country singer?
No, he's more like, I want to say more, not really pop, but I think he's one, and I thought about him because he has this thing where he goes against Live Nation. He's like, I'm not dealing with them and this and that, but then it's kind of like, will they even let me bring him?
Look at this. Not to cut you off. Top artists with limited or no, we'll go up.
Chance the Rapper is another one.
Or no reliance on Live Nation. Taylor Swift, she was just Ticketmaster. Chance the Rapper, Frank Ocean, Macklemore, Beyonce. Oh no, Boys Avenue, Barbara Streisand, Garth Brooks.
Yeah, there's some. It's just,
well, these are all kind of older people, other than like Taylor Swift.
No, Chance. I thought about Chance the Rapper. You know, for sure.
I mean, maybe Live Nation just does. Maybe they just have it like that. Maybe they have all the people on there.
Yeah, and I don't even know if I could even do some of those artists that's on the list, because it's not that they're signed. It's more if they've ever worked with them. It's kind of how they put it to me. So, you know, but there's ways around it. It's a beautiful venue. I love it. But that's the one thing that hurts the local promoters. You know what I mean? So you got to go to like Norva, or you got to do what we're trying to do, honestly, is get our own venue, you know. When we
make a new one?
Yeah.
Are you, so they want to work with people that have been on Live Nation, sign themselves. But even if you adhere to those standards, are you allowed to get local acts on that lineup still at the Dome?
Yeah, for sure. And that's the goal too, you know, for us. But again, you have to have the right artist as a promoter, as a guy putting the show on or the venue, whatever. You know, there's costs, right? And so if you can't make your costs, you know, profitable, if you can't make that money back, you really have to have that place full. The inside capacity is 3,000, just around 3,000. And then outside, they got another 2,000, I guess. So it was 5,000 total. But just indoors only at 3,000, you pretty much have to get that to full capacity to make enough money to pay the artist, to pay for the venue, all of the above. And in order to do that, you need names that can really bring that amount of people out. You know what I mean? So you are limited as far as us go. But yeah, if I got the Dome, Cam Parker was going to be on there. You know, all the people that we work, any of those artists would have been out there, you know. And that's the goal. It's just harder to get that venue because of that reason. So
yeah, I know, like throwing events, it takes some time to really like get that credibility, get people used to your stuff.
Yeah. And
I feel like in the beginning you probably do like lose money. Mm-hmm. But you can't lose money forever. I think it has to eventually become profitable, or it's not sustainable.
Of course.
And I know there's a bunch of different ways to go about doing events. Like if you look at most of the events that Gabe Niles spends at, it's usually no cover.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that he's getting some percentage of the bar sales to be able to pay the DJs, pay himself.
Yeah.
You look at like a Traptastic show, they're usually a cover that you might pay $20, $30 to get into a Traptastic show, like at Crocs.
Yep.
How do you look at the business side of throwing an event? Like, how do you make sure it's profitable? Like, what are some things that people usually overlook when throwing a show?
I think, yeah, definitely that. Like, you got to look at all the costs, right? It's not just the venue, it's your DJ. We always have a DJ, right? Or two. Your cost of putting the show on, then you got to see how many people can come in at whatever ticket price. Now, it's easier when you're working with, and my goal has always been working with a client, we call it. Like if we have Virginia Beach say, hey, we have this money for this, and it's free, or they have some limited tickets, like that's a little bit more. For us, it's just plug and play. Like we know what the budget is, we go, and it's all good. We don't have to really necessarily charge anything or focus on how many people come out, even though we focus on that. But it's not a numbers thing at that point. When it is a numbers thing, it just comes down to we know how many people we need to get in the door, and we target that, and we get that or above. But I think the things that people don't always consider is, again, is it the right venue? Is the cost, does it make sense? You know, like I've done shows before where it's been out of pocket. You know, you just do it to make it happen. And then at the end of the night, you're like, man, what did we really gain from that? part of it is, okay, my brand's out there. The artist got a chance to get out there. Like all those things are great. But to sustain that going forward, you can't. You can't be, unless you're a nonprofit or something like that. We're not in that status, right? So it's really getting the right lineup, getting the artists to be involved with the marketing. A lot of times artists just want to show up, get paid, and do their thing. But especially if you're from the local scene, you got to be able to put the work in to get people to show up. If you're not willing to work with me on that, I can't book you. I can't bring you to the show because you're not willing to bring your fans out, invest time to market and get the word out. Then why would I invest my money and my time in you coming to be a part of that event? So, and sometimes that comes across negative, right? Some people will be like, well, why
I mean, I think it makes sense.
That?
If I'm paying an artist, like I'm paying you for the people you can bring out. So like, I mean, I expect you to tell your people about it.
Exactly.
Right.
Or sell a certain number of tickets. You know, there's different ways to do that. But yeah, just overlooking the logistics and the cost. And the biggest thing I think people overlook, we have this social media, everything's instant gratification, right? Everybody sees, oh, they can do it, I can do it too. Matter of fact, what they do, I can do it better. That's not always the case. It's not just like that. I mean, fill in the blank with any profession or whatever somebody do, it looks easy, but it's not that easy. Jordan made the game look really easy.
Yeah, when it's done right.
Not everybody can shoot like him, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's the thing people overlook is it's not just an easy thing. Oh, I can do a show. I can put it together. Okay, go ahead. You know, and I'm not saying you can't, but put that work in. You gotta realize it does take work. It does take effort. And attention to detail for me and my team is super important because without the attention to detail, you just got another run-of-the-mill show, like I was saying earlier.
Yeah, well, sometimes it can be easy to do it one time.
Yeah.
But to really have longevity in it, I think that's a whole different thing. And that is a lot harder. Mm-hmm. And you know what they say, great marketing, if you have a shitty product, great marketing is just a fast way for people to find out your product is shitty and never fuck with it again. Exactly. So you might throw one event and you might get people out there.
Exactly.
But you do that one and people come, it's like, wait, this ain't really it. So now you do a second one and it's not a hit.
It's trash. Yeah. And I'm tired of seeing that, man. It happens too often. Where I see it, I'm just like, you're hurting the artists, you're hurting the people, the fan base, the locals. It's just get those people out the way because they're really messing up a good thing because there are people that do it and take pride in what we do. And when you do that, you're going to have a product. You're going to have something at the end of the day people want to come back to and be a part of. But when it's just a quick buck or I just want to do it because I want the recognition, I just want to get more followers, all for the wrong reasons, you're going to have that end of the day. It's not going to be done right, you know? And so that really gets under my skin when I see that, you know, and then it just makes me more motivated to keep doing what we do and show people, you know, not just the artists, but the fans as well.
I'm trying to remember. I think the Vibe Check Festival was free to the public, right?
Yeah, so it was free.
How was that?
But they did have a preferred viewing ticket area too.
But okay, how was that profitable for the city? Like, how are they? Like, I'm trying to think. Why would they have a budget? Why would the city do that for a free show? Like, what's in it for them?
So, long story short, there was the College Beach weekend, as we all know, that weekend of April. And so the city of Virginia Beach is always trying to find something to do for that weekend. Many years it was something, well, a couple of years it was something in the water, right? They had different things, but it's not always been organized except for something in the water. There's never been a real organized event during that weekend. And so when they saw that that weekend was open, nothing was going on, they said, let's do something because there's a bunch of kids and a bunch of young folks coming into our city at the ocean front. And we want to do something where it's not only, you know, fun and entertaining, but also safe. You know, they want to keep everybody safe. And so that's why they had funding set aside for that weekend.
But did the city make money off of that?
Well, I don't have all those details, but I'm sure, yeah. I mean, there was money to be made, but it wasn't. So look at it this way. It's not really we're trying to make money and a profit. It's let's make sure there's something there for tourists and people coming in town that will spend money at the beach, that will buy food and beverage at the restaurants, that will stay at the hotels. That's why Waka Flocka and Bryce Vine were the main headliners because it was a demographic they're trying to reach, which is the young professional people that know that music that'll come in town and spend money. So that's beneficial for the city. It's not just we made money off tickets, we made money off of tourism.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
More, there's more to that. But ultimately, it's yeah, it also helps create something during that weekend where otherwise it'd just be a bunch of people up and down the boardwalk, which there still was. But Vibe Check was amazing because it was the safest thing at the beach. Even the chief of police told us that. He said I had no worries about that area because
that was the flag that something like I remember the very first something in the water before it happened. Like a lot of people were on Facebook talking shit like, yo, it's going to be a shooting, it's going to get like this, that. But it was like not one incident happened.
No.
And also, I guess like what you're saying, like, okay, we use Vibe Check for an example. That event doesn't really have to make money. If there's hella people out there and they're spending money anywhere else on the strip, the city's still making tax money.
Yeah.
They're paying taxes on whatever they spend their money on.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a benefit to the city. And I was there for the first Something in the Water as well. Front row.
You see all the people passing out?
Yeah.
It was like 3 or 4 people that passed out on that shit.
Yeah, I was in the front row, man, the whole time. And
you a real one for that because I wasn't about to go up there. Honestly, I feel a little like claustrophobic. I don't like being in super like big crowds for long periods of time, especially at the front. Like I think Something in the Water was like my first time being in like that big of a crowd.
Yeah.
Like it was cool. I felt like safe and comfortable and shit. But I did, in the back of my mind was like, yo, like if I got to get out of here, it's gonna take me like 30 minutes to get out of this fucking crowd.
The only time
it's a weird feeling.
Yeah, the only time I felt crazy was Travis Scott hit the stage.
Oh yeah.
And you're in the sand and you're like, yo, there's no way I'm gonna do that. I had no control of where I went. The crowd just moved us.
Bro, the time I felt the most like uncomfortable being in a large crowd, I was in LA in I forgot what year. I think it was 2018 when XXX died. You know who XXX Tentacion is? So I was out there that month when he died, and No Jumper did a memorial for him in front of the old No Jumper store.
Oh, wow.
And we went out there, and it's just like thousands of kids just in front of No Jumper. And shit starts getting rowdy. Like I'm like, bro, I gotta get out of this crowd.
Yeah.
Like it just felt uncomfortable.
For
It's
sure.
like news helicopters flying by. Like the news van goes by, and just like 10 kids on the news van, like shaking it and shit.
Crazy.
I'm like, bro, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Like like large crowds, it's like people get into this like mass hypnosis, and it's like things can get very weird. Like
it can get
it's
tricky.
like it can also be on the other side. It could be love. It can be peaceful. Like it's like whatever energy is kind of projected at that crowd. It's like giving back like 10 times by the crowd.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if it could be like a negative energy, and then it can make everybody get rowdy. But if it's like some peaceful music or some good vibes, you can also feel that. It's like a more intense feeling of like just good vibes than if you're just like by yourself.
And that was the thing about the first Something in the Water, because when I was backstage, I had like a way to get all access, and it was amazing. Because everybody, whether it was the security folks, whether it was the person with the food truck, whether it was the people backstage, wherever it was, everybody just seemed like they were all excited and happy that this was going on. I don't know if it was just a Virginia, like everybody was just happy it was in Virginia. That was part of it too. Like that had never happened before, something that big. And I think that's why it was so successful, is because everybody was on the same page and just wanted to see this success. And that's what Vibe Check was successful. Because me and the city were just, we all, and our friends at Beach Events, by the way, shout out to them, we were all on the same page. Just let's make this successful, whatever that means. It's not about me looking good in my company and you looking good. It's how do we all look good over this one event. I saw that with Something in the Water. And there was people that everybody had just taken pride, that they were there.
Yeah, maybe it was because like most people involved, like the people throwing it, everybody involved, and then the attendees were from this area. Yeah. Maybe like most festivals, like a Rolling Loud or some shit, maybe they fly in a bunch of people to put it together, and then like a lot of the crowd is also coming there from somewhere else.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe majority of people involved in Something in the Water were from this area, so they felt like a deeper sense of attachment to it and wanted it to go well.
For sure, yeah. Even the vendors, everybody.
Yeah, vendors. I also think at like throwing events, at the end of the day, it's not about you. It's about that fan. It's about the audience that's there.
Yes,
How good of a time are they having? So I think, especially in events, like when you're doing live shit, you have to take your ego out of it. It's not about you.
Nope.
Like, what are you doing to like ensure that these people are safe and having a good time and are gonna go home and like be excited they went to that thing and are looking forward to the next thing you do.
Yeah. And that's the thing that I was saying earlier. Like, what people miss is they just want the recognition, And again, we live in this social media world where you can put a post up and get 1,000 likes, and now everybody knows me. They saw what I did. It's like, for us, we are not that. I'm just not built that way. I try to be humble. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody has something.
Batman was. Did you watch? Well, you didn't watch it because it just came out. But Batman was saying that about you. He was like, I love Jay because he's a very tempered individual, and he's not like big headed or letting the moment get the best of him or like treating people like shit.
Yeah.
And he was like, he thinks we need more people like that.
Yeah. No. Shout out to him, man. He's a great guy. And funny thing is, when I started my business before I really got going, I called him. He was one of the first people I met when I moved out here. I said, "What do you think about this idea?" He was like, "Let's see how it goes," kind of thing. But yeah, no, I mean, again, we all have moments. There was some events where I can get heated. You know what I'm saying? But that's only when you disrespect me or the artist. An event happened and somebody disrespected my artist. It was another organizer we were working with. Disrespected my artist. It was done. I lost my cool. And that only happens in those moments. It's very rare that it happens, but everybody has their limit. You hit something and I can't take this no more. You know what I mean? But again, going back to that, you got to keep that mindset that this is about the overall event. And if you have that mindset, if the event goes well, we all will look good. That's not really the thing that I care about, but the brand will look good. Then you're going to continue to succeed. And that's super important to me.
Mm. So you do these live events. I know you've been doing a bunch of I've been to one of your live panels at Assembly. You said you do multiple of them?
Yeah, so we're working on a third one. It's going to be actually November 13th back at Assembly. It's called Extracurriculars. So it's bringing creatives and business owners together. We have different, about 5 panel members on the panel. It's creatives, it's business owners, it's people in that space. And that's just another event that we do to bring people together to network. Networking is huge for me. That's what got me started. Doing some networking events and met a few people and things took off from there. So that's a way for me to give back in a way, but also to share information. Another resource that we try to provide is information. You know what I mean? And we all know how important information is. So bring people together. We can't solve all the problems, but let's talk about some of the problems that creatives face. And then have a business perspective where if you're a business owner, maybe you want to invest in some of these artists one day. And so bringing those two worlds together, and Assembly is a perfect place for that. But we're doing the third one, November 13th. It's a Thursday. And
I'm trying to get on one of those. I'm trying to get on that panel.
Hey, man,
bro, nobody ever hits me up for the panels, bro.
I think I had you on my list already. So we're going to talk after this.
Come on. I also think networking... I think networking a lot of times it gets associated with opportunities, which it can bring opportunities. But I think what's really important about networking, even aside, if me and you meet and have a conversation or whoever it is, and an opportunity doesn't come from it, I don't think it's a loss, because I think the most important part of networking is finding your people and finding people to feed off each other's energy. Yeah. So for me, for example, coming up doing creative shit, I was the only one in my friend group that did anything creative. So it just felt like a lonely journey. Yeah. So meeting other people in the city that are doing that, even if nothing comes out of that, it just inspires and motivates me. For sure. And I think that's a big thing we can all do for each other, as artists in the area. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, that's just a different thing to do, but you're right. If you just stick to the corner that you're in, you're not going to grow as well. And I think that's very important, is when you have people that are really good at what they do, you get other people around that are really good at what they do, you're only going to push and propel each other further. And so that's another piece of it too. But it's like being a boxer and you never spar, you never box with anybody else. You're just not going to get better.
Exactly.
Yeah. You mentioned that you're also part of the Changemaker program at Assembly. What is that? Yeah,
so this is my first year, and I applied last year, didn't get in. Now I got in this year. So very grateful. But, Assembly is basically a co-working space. They have kind of these hot seats where you can rent a space to work. You could use it as your office. They have meeting spaces, conference rooms, all the above. And of course, they have businesses that are there full time that work there. And so you have people working for different companies. But the Changemaker program is people in the 757 area, the Hampton Roads area, that are making change in their businesses and different businesses. We have some folks in the tech business, some in education, TZ's in there, me, Kello, there's a few other creatives in there. And so it's a collective of a bunch of different business owners that really don't have I don't want to say everybody, but some of us don't have a home office, you know what I'm saying? Or at home we do, but like a home base, if that makes sense. And so Assembly is a place to do that, allows us to be there. We get a membership for the year to have access to all the meeting rooms, all the spaces. And so now I do all my meetings there, whether it's formal, informal, there's different rooms for it. But it's a program meant for those business owners. And then the goal is to bring people into Assembly so they can see the space. And then those folks can either book it out for events or they can rent space to work out of. It's a way for them to be a part of the community of change makers in the area. So, but it's really dope, man. I'm really grateful. Already doing some events there. They have the rooftop where we do the networking event, and then we're trying to do more events with our DJ, like Sober, have him in the living room playing some music, just doing different things to bring people together. And it's a great way to network as well.
Yeah, I saw Sober, the DJ. I don't know if I've met him, but I saw he's the DJ for the Live from the Couch series you guys do.
Yes, sir.
And then I saw in your bio that you are management for him and Biggs.
Yeah, yep, definitely, man. So I do all his bookings. It just made sense. We met last year at an event, really hit it off, connected on the same page. He's been doing his thing for a while. He's also an artist. So he's that artist background, plus a DJ, plus he's been doing events. We met and we're just like right away, like seeing eye to eye, you know what I'm saying? And so from that point on, I said, whatever I can do to book you, I will. Man, we booked him like every month since then, you know? And so he's become like our main DJ, incredibly talented as well. You got to get him to come up here, man. But he, so he does Live from the Couch. I manage his bookings, so helping him get off the ground. And then Biggs, I met him last year at a festival we did called Pulse. And a bunch of artists kept telling me about Biggs. This guy, Biggs, you got to meet him. You got to meet him.
You did the Pulse Fest?
We did, yeah. Friday night. We brought Ro Timmy.
I don't. Oh yeah. See,
we brought Ro Timmy and Chaz French. That was our night. Yeah.
See, I didn't know that you did that one.
Yeah. That was our second time working with the city.
Okay.
And that was again filling the void of something in the water that didn't happen in October.
How do you even go about working with the city? Or you just have some connection with somebody there that just hits you up? Or like how did you initiate that relationship with the city? That
was the case for us. Again, going back to networking, I went to a networking event. If you guys know Robbie Wells, he's the one that executive produces.
Some in the Water. Yeah, I have a pod coming up actually, and we're doing it in April. I really announced it yet, but I'm doing a pod with Robbie and Alec together at Atlantic Park.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
I'm excited for that.
He is just an incredible guy. So when I started my business, it was, let me find out who does what I do in the area. I found one individual, contacted him, and he was like, what can I do for you? I don't know who you are, type of thing. But Robbie, from the last Something in the Water, 2023, I just hit him up. I said, hey, I got this new company. I had just started the business just before Something in the Water, the last one. And something told me just hit him up. I don't know, see what happens. Send him a DM. He responded and was like, yeah, I'd love to talk. He's a big proponent for working with people in the area. We talked. It was kind of like, I just started though. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really have things laid out. I just wanted to work with the best of the best in the area. And I knew what I could bring to the table. And so it didn't pan out right away. Later in that fall, I just randomly texted him. And there's something about me just having this intuition and just texting somebody or reaching out to somebody. I just want to say, if you ever have that feeling, just do it. I hit him up in the fall of 2023 and said, you don't need networking events? I've been trying to do networking and meet people. He literally said, yes, tomorrow, here's a flyer, okay? I went to that event. It was put on by a city council member at the time in Virginia Beach. I met everybody I needed to meet in that one room at that one time. Everybody. After that, we did one small event for a council member. And they were like, oh, you could put in a proposal to do something. And now they have a formal process for proposals. At that time, there wasn't really a strong process. So I put it in. Another council member saw it and said, let me help you guys out. I can see some things. You got some potential, but you got to do da-da-da-da-da. So I took some of that note, went with it, and then they pulled us in for an event in that summer. We did an event. And then from there, they just liked what we did. I mean, we're just thorough. We really good with staying on time, really good with just, attention to detail, brought the right artists, all of the above. And then that's when that relationship started. So does that always happen? No, that was really just a perfect timing situation. We built trust with them. Now, you got to put in an RFP. They send out, they call it RFP, right?
Is there a website? So there's actually like a formal way now
There are
to
ways,
propose an event to the city to get funding from them.
Exactly. Now, and it doesn't always happen. It's just, they might have a request that comes out and you got to respond and put together a strong proposal. Other times, they have sort of, they call it the festival, I want to say task force, something like that they had at one point. They were like, hey, we're taking
festival
proposals.
Task force just sounds crazy.
I don't know if that's a term.
It's just like a bunch of SWAT teams just pulling up.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what it's called. Something like that, like a team that they're willing to look at. But we did that one time. It just never went anywhere. So working with the city, you really got to get your way in there, and then when you do that, you got to really take advantage of the opportunity in a good way. But
also I think a cool thing to note there is things don't happen overnight.
No.
You reached out to Robbie multiple times. You go into events, you're networking, you're doing things wrong, figure out the right way to propose it, the right way to do it, and then kind of making it happen in the end. I think a lot of people get bitter. Like when that first thing doesn't go exactly how they want it. Like it's easy to get bitter and be like, all right, fuck everybody. And just like kind of turn negative. We're talking about Biggs while we're talking about Biggs. We did an episode with Biggs and Zeke recently, and they're the ones that produced the Norfolk record. I'm like, yo, we need a remix for that.
Yeah, I heard
G Herbo Norfolk record. You said you heard that, and you started doing some work behind the scenes to make that happen.
I'm trying to.
What's going on?
So this is music business. You know what I'm saying? Music business is not always clear cut. If it was just Biggs in the room and just him and I, we could make things happen. It's got other producers involved, other people involved. So I'm going through the channels, trying to get 2 artists from Norfolk that I already got in mind, that I've worked with both of them. I'm not going to say who, you might kind of fill in the blank, but I got 2 that I think could go well with that. It's going to come down to 1, do the producers okay? 2, is G Herbo okay with it? Do we just take his verse and keep it as is and throw their verses on? Do we get a new verse? Remixes from back in the day, it used to be different. But I think what you brought up, the point was, get some people from here on that record, like somebody from Norfolk, what I mean?
To me, it sounded right.
Yeah, and it does make sense. It's just what's going to have to happen, and we can get in a whole nother convo about it, but it really comes down to, will those artists work the record? It's one thing to do it. Yeah, of course they're going to jump on with G Herbo. Why wouldn't they? But are they willing to put the work in and make that record do what it should do? Because then the producers can eat. Then G Herbo can eat off of it. And then it's, okay, now we're doing real music business. The artists that I talk to, they want to do it. But it comes down to, will they put the work in to make that record take off? And that's what we're trying to figure out and negotiate right now. But yeah, it's just me trying to do what I can. Because I'm working with Biggs, I'm trying to get him out there as much as possible. And I think it'd be a great opportunity for everybody. But it has to make sense, you know what I'm saying? And that's just business. That's music business. That's just one of those things that you got to push through either to make happen or figure it out. But I hope it does happen. And whether it's that or we do a different record, I think his relationship with this area is now cemented in a way.
G Herbo's?
Yeah, for sure. And I know he's coming back in the area very soon too. So hopefully we can get figured out before then. That'd be dope, to have them all together on stage.
That'd be crazy.
But again,
get some artists on it, do a new video for it.
That's what I'm
they
saying.
Perform it somewhere. Because I love the record. A lot of people did, but that was the backlash that some people were saying. Like, why isn't there a Norfolk artist on this song?
Yeah,
even though everybody else involved with it was from Norfolk,
right?
But people want that, and I think if that happens, it'll be a big thing in the city.
For sure, I agree. I'm getting to work, man.
Go crazy. I really fuck with Biggs too. I think Biggs has a really funny laugh. Did you see when I was showing him and Zeke the beats?
I love that.
He is hilarious.
I couldn't stop laughing when I saw it.
Yeah, doesn't he have braces?
Yeah,
Biggs is like the oldest person I know with braces. Not saying he's old, but like he's like a grown man with braces.
Once you get that money, it's like you can make it happen.
Nah, for sure.
But no, he's dope. I love working with him, man. We just started working over the summer. Me becoming his manager. Yeah, it's just been a great opportunity.
Yeah, that was my second pod with it. When the first Biggs pod we did was? Because we did that one with him and Zeke recently, but we did one with him, I want to say like a year or two ago.
Yeah. He knows everybody, man. Every time I be like, yo, I got this artist, man. I want you to meet. Oh, yeah, I did this song when they was in high school. Their first song ever. I'm like, Biggs, man.
Yo, yeah, no, that's what it was.
I can never bring nobody
Bro,
to
the first time I did a pod with Biggs, he was like, bro, I've been doing this shit for so long. I'm recording people's grandkids now that I record.
Man.
I'm like, bro, you're not that fucking old, bro.
Well, he does have a nonprofit working with the youth, so.
No, I'm talking about he said he's recording people's he'll record.
That's what I'm saying.
Like years ago, he'll record somebody, whatever, some artist.
Yeah.
Now they have grandkids and he's recording their grandkids. I'm like, I think he misspoke. I think he was trying to say kids or some shit.
No,
I'm like, bro, you ain't that fucking old, bro.
Yeah, I mean, well, it could happen because, like I said, he works with the youth.
What was that for? Yeah, I'm right. What was that?
Nonprofit.
It probably might have been 2. What year was it? August 2024? Early? Oh, yeah, no, I'm right, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, it was a year because I remember actually now because the pod I did with him and Zeke was actually like a year to the date later from the first pod we did, just like randomly.
That's crazy.
But yeah, man, I love everything that's happening in our scene right now. You said you got out here in 2016, and I have been making music out here for like a while, but I wasn't really too tapped into the scene till I started the podcast.
Yeah.
And even from 2020 to now, like I feel like our infrastructure has gotten better. There's more opportunities for artists.
For sure.
A lot of us support each other more. We finally realize that we're not each other's competition. And I think a lot of people out here are taking the right steps right now to like create a thriving scene in our area.
Yeah.
I do still think we have some things to work on. There is some missing pieces there that I don't really know what it is. We need to figure out a way to have a pipeline for like once you're like take over the city, how to push you further.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think with that is we need platforms like podcasts, live performance platforms. Like we need like 5 different platforms that are known for breaking unknown artists.
Yeah.
Like On the Radar in New York.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That is a platform that I think they do a great job because a lot of times as a fan, you just don't really care about a new artist.
Yeah.
It's like a new person that you don't know at all, so it's hard to care about them. But they've done a great job at building a brand where you go there expecting to find out about somebody new that you've never heard of.
Yeah.
And they could be whack. You could not like it and you'll just scroll past it. But if it's fire, you'll tap in.
Yeah.
You'll actually go and see what that artist has to offer and you'll see what else they're doing outside of that performance. So they did a good job at that. And I just think we need a few of those out here.
Yeah.
We need to go viral.
For sure. And that's why we did, started live from the couch. Like that, just to get back to that, like that was the goal was we work with a lot of artists. We got our DJ. Like why not put those two together and do it different? Like everybody's doing, like I said, the same old type of thing for the most part.
I like how you guys are actually performing live.
Yeah.
Because that was my critique of even On the Radar.
Yeah.
I get it. It has a lane. But I like seeing people perform that shit live.
Yeah, because I mean, how can we not do, like if I do that, I do a live show, then I go and sit down and have you lip sync. Like that doesn't make sense. So we want to showcase the talent of these artists, and then to have them on the spot, just mix in instrumentals. You got to keep going. And it's one take. We don't do 2 takes. We don't be like, oh, let's start over.
Yeah,
it's
I saw
one
that.
straight through.
That is different. You'll have people performing their song, and it'll be like a mix between like their beat and then like some random like industry beats or something like that.
Just for recognition, yeah.
Yeah.
And see how they can keep going. And you got rappers, R&B singers. Just let's see what they can do.
Yo, that's a principle of branding. So how you guys are using these familiar beats that people have heard before, right?
Yep.
And that's a branding principle to where you create something new, right? But you have some little piece of it, even if it's like a graphic or like if you're creating a fucking logo or whatever it is, you have some little piece of it that's familiar to people.
Yep.
And then like subconsciously they sense that familiarity and they're more open to receiving like whatever that new thing is.
Yeah. No, I mean that was part of the thing, man, was to do that. So then you do have that familiarity. When you hear like a Tyler, Donovan just kind of go crazy on Skrillex, or who else do we have? We had we got one coming out next week, Shaolin on a Tupac Hail Mary beat.
That's
crazy. And she was like, she didn't even know who that was. Like
she knew Tupac was,
but she didn't know that beat.
Oh my!
I was like, come on, we kind of joke about it. After
had a really good episode with Shaolin.
Yeah,
it's like she was one that people were like, We had a really fire pod. We talked for like, I think, hour and a half. But then even after the show, like after we cut the cameras, we spoke for like another 2 hours. Yeah. And that was like an even crazier conversation.
Right.
Yeah, she's a real cool girl.
Yeah, for sure.
Jay, appreciate you, man. Anything else you want to touch on? Anything else you want to lead the people with? Like what's coming up next that people should know about?
Yeah, so like I said, we got Extracurricular 3, Session 3 coming up.
November 13th.
Probably going to have a guy by the name of Selmir on there.
Chill. The panel. Relax. I'll tell them about it. I'm playing.
No, but
I'll definitely be there.
There's that. We're going to Art Basel in December, so we're going to make some connections down there in Miami, take some artists, our DJ down there.
Are you guys doing that event down there?
We're doing a couple of events down there, yep. So we'll be a part of that. And shout out to our guy, Brian Cunningham. He's kind of become a new partner of ours. We did Soundwave, Summer Soundwave recently and worked with him on that.
Who's that, Brian Cunningham?
Brian Cunningham, he was, excuse me, I met him through a guy named Kendall at 3 Scoops. I don't know if you know the clothing brand 3 Scoops.
I've heard of that. I've seen it on Instagram.
Yeah, shout out to Kendall. He introduced us a few months back. But Brian, he was an athlete. He's from Virginia Beach, soccer player, played in different places. But he's an entrepreneur. He helps businesses. He also has a studio in Miami. He does a lot of different things, but he was getting ready to start a business like ours. We met and he's like, I don't need to start that business. I'm gonna work with you guys instead. So it was great because he brings some things to the table. What we bring, we kind of work together really well. So we did Summer Soundwave. We're going to take that to another level and do a lot more next year where it's fitness and music and live performances. So sound and movement, is kind of what we say.
How do you incorporate fitness with live performances? So
what we did was we had One Life sponsor and do some classes on Saturday. We had a concert Friday, and then we had One Life do fitness classes Saturday. It's a 2-day thing. Next year, we want to take it to concert Friday night, fitness Saturday, concert again Saturday. So we're going to continue to build and grow this thing. But there's going to be a lot more activations around that Soundwave event. So we're going to do a lot more next year with that. Hopefully bring Vibe Check back somewhere or another, same kind of format, bring the local artists with some headliners. We got a few other things that we're working on, but Live from the Couch, we're doing a live in person in October, actually, with a live audience down at the ocean front at a place called Ace. Off Laskin, so we got that really soon. Just trying to build these brands up and get more opportunities for the artists, and just like you said, continue to get more or do more to help in the area with the scene. So
that's cool. I'm glad you guys are doing the live from the couch. Mm-hmm. We've been trying to figure out for like a year or two. I've been trying to think like some type of live events I can do with the podcast.
Yeah.
I haven't really figured it out all the way. I've done a few live podcasts at like their other events, but I have been trying to figure out some way to incorporate like what we do with some performances or some shit and like throwing some events.
Yeah.
What is this, Karen?
They used to do this in Virginia Beach.
Rock and Roll Virginia Beach Half Marathon. What is it? Let me read some of that.
It was like basically they would have a half marathon and
have bands playing like along the marathon.
Well, that was after the races. They would have like little bands set up on blocks and stuff, but there was like a big concert weekend after the race was done.
Oh wow!
Who put that on? Does it say?
Yeah, zoom in some more. Let me read some of that. Zoom into that.
Maletti.
The Rock and Roll Virginia Beach Half Marathon was an annual half marathon road running event which took place in Virginia Beach on the first Sunday of September between the years of 2001 and 2021. Oh, they did it for 20 years? How did I never hear about that? Owned and organized by the Ironman Group. The event was inaugurated. I'm trying to see. Almost 11,000 people completed the race at the first event, over half of whom were women. The elite race attracted high caliber American and international athletes. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the vibe. I mean, it's like there's a culture of fitness and music and, being at the beach, it's like just this fitness aspect. I feel like that's something that we want to bring. And so that, we're going to see a lot more of that, but that's just one of those things that we're working on. And the guy that started Beach Events might have been involved with this too. He just passed away recently. Beach Events is the organization we work with at the oceanfront a lot. They have a contract with the city to do all entertainment, all the free concerts throughout the summer, all of that. They also have I'm Going, which is their They're for-profit company as well. Well, they're all for-profit, but that's their entity aside from the city. And the guy that started it just passed away recently, so rest in peace to him. But he may have been involved with this because he.
Bro,
was,
I mean, a lot of people still sleep on the fact that we have a beach, man.
Yeah.
I think also Virginia Beach is maybe in the world, but definitely the country. It's like the longest strip of beach in the country. You ever heard about that?
Nah.
Look that up,
Is
Karen.
it?
Virginia Beach is the longest strip of swimmable beach in the country.
Yeah.
Maybe the world. You better look it up. Something like that. So it's like a kind of a historic fucking beach. People say that Virginia Beach used to be like Miami before Miami.
Interesting. Yeah, because you got taste.
Maybe I'm wrong. No, Virginia Beach is not the longest beach in the world. It holds the Guinness World Record for the longest pleasure beach in the world with 35 miles of coastline. So isn't that not what I just
Pleasure
said?
line. Yeah, I guess boardwalks.
It's like the swimmable. It's a swimmable area. There might be other like beaches, but like nobody's really there.
Yeah.
They call it, I guess they call it a pleasure beach. Longest pleasure beach. That sounds a little crazy, pause. But then I didn't even know that it has a Guinness World Record for that.
Yeah, because you think about Florida, it's like there's different beaches that make up that whole coastline, right? So
Yeah.
And California too.
So this ours is all like connected.
Yeah.
Jay, thank you very much, man. Appreciate it.
You,
Excited
man.
to see what else you got coming up. Thanks for coming through.
For sure, man. Thank you, bro.
Yes, sir.